This is the Creepypasta Survival Guide by Rob Gavin. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay to the end for some channel news and an explanation as to why this is going to be the main content from here on out. But sit tight and enjoy the story.
We've all been there. You've just gone to a certain place, at a certain time, on a certain date, done a special thing, and the thing you suspected would happen has just fucking happened. Not to mention the fact you've just seen whatever the fuck it is that lives in your mirror, been told in detail how you're going to die, and the highly demonic and invincible thing you summoned is currently heading towards you. Also, your family are all dead, your friends are all missing, and you're being framed by someone with access to your bedroom. What the fuck do you do now, sweet protagonist? Well, you've come to the right place. Well, you've come to the right place to find out. These are simple rules one must follow in order to firstly not become a victim of creepypasta and furthermore to come out kicking if the worst does happen. With the help of this guide, you too can merely become a catatonic, traumatized wreck as opposed to the guy currently being worn as a coat by some dude who roams a lot. Just keep these simple rules in mind. Mirrors and darkness don't mix. Actually, mirrors are a general no in the creepypasta world. There is nothing more sinister. There is zero chance of survival if you look at the thing no one else can see, or answer its question incorrectly. If you're alone at night in a creepy mental institution, take some time to consider what the fuck it is you're doing there. Then, if it's appropriate to do so, leave. Avoid going to places where everyone who went there never came back or died inexplicably. If someone stops your vehicle at night and asks to come with you, it would probably be within your best interests to politely decline. Killing is the last method of survival. Use it sparingly, but without fear. Who was phone? It's always a good thing to ponder. Also, who the hell answers the phone while having sex with a dead person's sexy daughter? Creepy rapist. That's who. Get a simple 38 caliber revolver. Load it with 2 silver bullets. If you really feel there is no chance to come out of a situation alive, take one shot at whatever it is that's threatening you. If that doesn't work, you still have the last shot to become a hero with. Area 51 is simply too well guarded to let you get in, or to let any alien out. When going to a hotel, try to steer clear of unauthorized areas. If you couldn't resist and you saw a red thing, take some time to consider the price range and hotel standard on your next visit. Have you ever stayed at a haunted Hilton? When booking your next stay, TripAdvisor can be an invaluable tool in deciding whether your choice is the scene of a mass murder, full of dead people, or built at the mouth of hell. Local newspapers can also be helpful. Invoking demons, speaking weird languages, and performing rituals of any kind is considered dangerous. Refrain from doing that, especially around abandoned warehouses, churches, psychiatric institutions, the woods, and your house, in front of a mirror, at night. When going into a new area, environmental understanding is the key to survival. Ask around for cursed places, legends, dangers, and other details. Listen to local people's advice, and don't be afraid if you are unsure which attacks and disappearances are paranormal and which aren't. Be sure to ask. Always have a Bible next to your bed. Provides average reading material, proof of beliefs, and really heavy and effective objects to throw at enemies. Don't count on holy water. Get a sturdy vial of sulfuric acid and let a priest consecrate it. Japanese priests cleanse rooms by waving katana swords around. The ritual is 100% effective on corporeal forms. If you find 666 messages on your phone, mailbox, email, etc., consider changing your service provider. Also, don't bother listening to or reading the messages. It's spam. Extra-dimensional possibly, but spam nonetheless. Old pharmaceutical companies cannot help you unless you specifically need blood of the innocent, snake oil, radioactive syrup, which is never. If you need to sign it in blood, you don't need to sign it. All mainstream governing bodies will accept contracts signed in ink. Bear this in mind if offered deals that seem too good to be true. Lighthouses are dangerous. Avoid them at all costs. If you work at a lighthouse, consider a career in insurance sales or veterinary care. Have you ever read Three Skeleton Key? There is simply no reason to listen to music that causes suicidal tendencies, or to watch films that have had strange or disastrous consequences. If you like to plan ahead and have some money, buy your auntie and uncle a house in Bel Air. Nothing can harm you there, no matter how scared your mother is. Secret, secluded, and untouched places and old buildings are left untouched for a reason. Pioneers never say die, but they do in fact have an unusually high mortality rate. Before you start swimming in the ice-cold waters of a murky lake at the center of a dark forest at midnight, ask yourself, do you really want to travel to an ancient and terrifying city? If the answer is no, then stay home instead, and watch whatever quality programming is available on Cinemax, which means boobies. On your 33rd birthday, try celebrating in a well-lit house with the company of others. Watching TV static for long periods may be hazardous to your health. Try satellite TV or Freeview to combat this problem. Netflix and internet streaming are also effective. Get a cat. Those furry little hairballs seem to perceive unnatural phenomenon better than us, and if desperate, simply throw it at whatever it is that's about to get you. Safety in numbers. If you're getting a bit too freaked out, grab a few friends, any and all firearms, and avoid the area in question. Cemeteries are bad places, especially in foggy conditions and on Halloween. Try not to close your eyes. Ever if you must do so, do it only briefly. If something is moved from its original position in the time it is taking you to blink, it is recommended that you do not blink again until you have dealt with said object. Fire is presumably the best method. If you ever find an unmarked tape which contains the file extension .avi, even if it's of your favorite kids show, do not, under any circumstances, watch that tape. Now, if the file extension is .mts, that's a different matter altogether. If you are chanting, run until you're out of earshot. If you are too old to play with dolls, you do not need to be anywhere near one of those creepy little fuckers. Legends can offer valuable insight of where not to go camping with friends. When babysitting, ascertain the family's tastes and preferences to avoid being killed by poorly selected statues. If you are certain that running will not save you, it is always best to try. If you go buy a used video game, whether it is at a game shop or garage sale, never, ever buy one with a weird-looking cartridge. This includes strange colors, ripped-off labels with titles written in marker. The latter tends to happen more often than not. For the daring, don't just buy said game to become famous. Your chances of becoming an internet celebrity because of it only work if you know how to program. You should also be highly suspicious of a games priced too cheaply and bootlegs. If you decide to buy the used game anyway, rip that son of a bitch out of your console the moment it starts acting funny and take a hammer to it. If you ever see a strangely new-looking doorway with a strange face on it, on a building you swore you didn't see at first and the building happens to be an old chateau, don't fucking open it. It's probably best to refrain from looking up on Google the phrase, husky with grins. You'll just end up having to spread the word. Never allow somebody to take pictures of you with an outdated camera if it's too late. Your best bet is to gamble with death, or just trap them in a photo. That works too. Don't play with dolls. They come with a needle or a defect, especially a defect. Burn Ouija boards, but be sure to have one of those car fresheners handy. The real reason why spirits get pissed off is because of that foul aroma it produces when burned. Never confront animated puppets physically. Subdue them with spells, or they'll come back with minions, or in a real physical body. If you ever find yourself unable to escape, dancing may ward off the entity. Doing the hokey pokey is known to ward off curious monsters, but you might have to do the moonwalk to deal with zombies. If you're checking your computer for viruses, and you go too deep into System 32, refrain from clicking on any .avi files. If you do not heed this warning, creepy videos on you, dude. If you see old tapes containing the word happy, or appy, pretend you never saw them. Just go on with your life. It'll just end up invoking some whacked out, coked up director of an old children's show, and you'll just end up having to pull some thanks for the ride shit to kill him. If you end up buying a used camcorder and the previous owner left one of their tapes inside, refrain from watching that tape, no matter how tempting it may be. Be careful when buying an old second-hand TV. If you see a guy with both an incredibly large smile and black and white eyes, extricate yourself from the premises post-haste. Don't go to a friend's house to bake cupcakes if they have random spurts of insanity. Phone companies with low coverage are best avoided. .exe files with strange names are not safe. Don't open them. For the love of Neptune, turn off your fucking faucet when you're done with it. If you were told not to look behind you, it's better to do so. Unless you're against a wall. Also, don't listen to anybody who tells you to go to sleep. It's better to run away. If you see a tall man with tentacles, run. Don't enter strange websites. Don't enter strange places. Not even strange videos. If a woman who covers her mouth asks you if she's beautiful, tell her she's average. It'll prevent her from slicing your mouth. No good can ever come from owning a shiny Pokemon. If you happen to intern at a cartoon studio and you happen to be reviewing a new episode, make sure the episode is safe for work before viewing that shit. Don't be so excited when being asked to look behind you, but don't take forever. No reason to keep certain death waiting. Weird shit in Europe won't hurt you in the United States. Leave that to creeps, scarecrow, in the creepy dark. Weird shit in the United States won't hurt you in Europe. Damn. Should you break Rule 54, there's always a chance of rescue. If your brother is tired of noise, or you have a friend who has a brother like that, refrain from going into his basement, unless you want to be tortured. If you buy a memory card with save data on it, delete all the saves. If you get a drawing of Sonic on a disc and the only file on that disc is a .exe file called Sonic, don't play it. Destroy it, or a demonic being that looks like a Sonic plushie might kill you. If he chooses not to, he will scar you for life. If you see what appears to be a 12-year-old kid with dark black shorts, a gray, bloody shirt, red shades, a dark gray skin, and a manic grin, do not, under any circumstances, piss him off. Unless you're a werepire. Or brave. Neighbors may have a darker side if they do things that seem off for them. Act normal. In addition to Rule 77, if you hear foreign voices from your body, that means you've been body jacked. If you're an adult and notice that you've been stalked by a guy with a black suit, long arms, no face, reach for the nearest child and throw him or her at him, then run like hell. If you're a child in the same situation, run like hell before said adult uses you to satisfy the aforementioned being's craving hunger. If you do not manage to escape before the adult snags you, try bargaining with the Slender Man that the adult has more delicious flesh. The Slender Man said monster described in the last two steps feeds on paranoia. If you remember Slender Man only wants a hug, he won't go after you. But if Slender Man does stalk you, maybe consider, will your death benefit society? If all else fails, give Slenderman $20 and he should leave you alone. If you see something crawling around, is it more likely to be something? And you don't want more information about it. If you see someone crawling around, it's more likely to be something, and you don't want more information about it. If you're a police officer, state trooper, FBI agent, or any person of authority and you have 2 days left until retirement and you happen to notice anything suspicious or potentially dangerous to your health, get the fuck out of there immediately. If you're being chased by any creepypasta, and you are 100% sure that you are out of options, attempt to run to wherever Stephen King is doing his next book signing. Your killer would be far too interested in trying to get an autograph to remember what the fuck they were doing in the first place. If Stephen King isn't in your general vicinity at the time, R.L. Stine is always available. If you're a creepypasta reader and feel like things are getting too real, take a break. If you find a magic stick that lets you draw living creatures, don't draw yourself. You may be surprised at how pissed off your creations can get at you. If you wake up in the middle of the woods after having fallen asleep listening to your own heartbeat, take notice that someone probably put you there. But don't call the police, public a book out of it, and get a movie deal. If you're being offered an orange by a demon, either don't take it or follow the steps from Rule 89. If you're on the third day of the third month of the 33rd year, seal up all openings to your house, unless you want to be eaten by an evil mist. If you notice you're being stalked by a screaming child in a skull mask, don't always assume the kid's evil. Just be sure to save the bunch of crunch, should you have any. When reminiscing about your favorite kid's show on a message board, take time to consider if the episode where all the characters screamed their lungs out was real or not. Also, take a moment to consider if the entire show was real or not. When looking through mysterious blood-soaked pictures left in your mailbox, check to make sure you locked your doors and windows. Remember, snowmen have feelings too. Stitches is naked. Covering him with a towel will cause him to die. Do so. If your friend disturbingly edits tapes, it's probably a good idea to never try to see him again. If you keep finding broken glass in your home, check to see if the shards match the colors of the glass object that was broken. If they don't, run. If Jeff the Killer shows up in your bedroom unarmed and invites you to follow him to his home, for God's sake, don't do it. And to make it an even 100, should you notice that your friend has suddenly developed a personality that is a mix between Heath Ledger's Joker and Beetlejuice, he or she is most likely inhabited. It would be within your best interest to keep clear of this person until they return to their boring, normal-as-fuck personality. If you've ever encountered a creature that looks like a small, mutant four-armed baby with Jeff the Killer's face, don't listen to it, even if it offers you gold. If you're still using Windows XP and use it every day with the internet, sticking with it's probably a dumb decision, and the support means more doors opening for viruses, and even more doors opening for crazy shit. Stay far, far away from abandoned amusement parks. If your son starts talking about any sort of doll from any video game, do not play that fucking game. Take the gaming system and play baseball with it instead. If you do play that game and hear any tapping at any place in your home, yell to your child to lock their door and jump from a window. It is wise to then light the house on fire and jump from the window with your spouse. Be atheist or convert to any religion that isn't monotheism. So when a monster says, "I am God," or an insane man says, "God abandoned us," you will chuckle, since it's an overused cliche, and instead of getting scared by your broken faith, church always fails to save you from creepypasta. The Bible is only as good as any other heavy object to throw, so there's no real benefit anyway. Always think twice before doing something stupid, or doing something you might regret. If you come across a pro wrestling DVD you haven't heard of, it was probably never released for a reason. If you are browsing the internet and a colorful pop-up says you win, you lose, or you die appears, for God's sake, don't fucking click it. If a magic 8-ball gives you anything but yes, no, or maybe, destroy it. Do not go to any halfway house or mental institution you can get yourself into in any city, country, unless your name happens to be Legion. If you do end up in any halfway house or mental institution you can get yourself into, do not talk to the receptionist at the front desk. Instead, read a magazine, pamphlet, or any source of material on the table in the waiting area unless your name is Legion. If you do talk to said receptionist at the front desk of any halfway house or mental institution you can get yourself into, do not talk to anyone whose name starts with the holder of, unless your name is Legion. Do not collect all 538 objects. There's a reason why they must never come together. Unless your name is Legion. If you find a bag with a dozen tapes inside it, just fucking leave it alone. There are some parts of YouTube you should not be in. Don't kill anyone because you made a page on a website and an admin or someone deleted it. Just don't. You should probably go read a book or something. Tales from the gas station is always an option. If you buy used wireless headphones off the internet, rip them bitches out of your head as soon as you hear static. And or the voices. If you attempt to bypass a level in an extremely hard typing game, you might find yourself trying to kidnap children wearing a chef hat. In addition to Rule 117, it was probably a reason why the level was so damn hard. If you go camping in the woods and you find a cabin, you should probably leave it alone. You've watched the movies. Everyone's scared of something. If you're not scared of anything, well then you're a liar. When playing Minecraft, do not set the render distance to tiny. If you do set your render distance to tiny and you see a mob that looks like Steve in the distance, set your render distance to full. If said mob is still sighted, delete the game. If said mob known as Herobrine is in every game, delete Minecraft. If you're in your room at night, and you wake to see a feeble-looking gray humanoid at the end of your bed, do not hesitate to throw your covers over it and punch it to death. Maybe put that Bible that was mentioned earlier to good use. And that pistol. If previously mentioned creature escapes one's grasp, it will stalk you and maul you, so if sighted again, run, man. If monsters still bleed, if forced to fight one, don't think that all hope is lost. It's better safe than sorry. If you do kill whatever it is that attacked you, don't think you're safe yet. Shoot them or stab them in every vital organ you can think of, and sever its limbs. Burning the corpse and or putting it through a meat grinder helps too. Remember, if a banshee is screaming the living shit out of you, that's the only sign you're gonna die a slow, painful death. If you have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon card that is a very ominous force, either creates death or magic that you've never imagined, either burn the card or cut it to pieces with scissors. Abandoning it, for example, putting it in the trash, would simply make you its next victim. Demonic or spiritual forces can enter any object or person with ease, but can be kept out of an object by letting a priest or group of priests do an exorcism, as long as you or any members of your family aren't the cause of it. Seek a fortune teller if you happen to have spiritual experience that will affect your future. Rap Rat is not a song artist. In fact, just stay away from anything that concerns him. Slenderman does not always kill out of hunger or boredom. Believe me, if he's stalking you, ask yourself if your death would benefit humanity. If it will, then just throw in the towel, because he's coming. Don't believe me? Go ask all them Nazi soldiers found impaled on trees. Hide and seek is an evil game. Before you consider those horrible figments of your deranged imagination your friends, take a look at their faces. If they have yellow eyes, or are impossibly deformed, take as many pills as your local psychiatrist is willing to give. If you suspect that an immortal, armless monster wants to put a foot through your stomach, run. If your walls bleed phrases that make no sense, try reading them backwards. If your walls start bleeding in the first place, you should burn the house down. If one wall is miraculously unburned, run like hell. Get in shape. The only thing you can do to evade the majority of creepypastas, as you could probably guess, is to run, man. If you're paraplegic, make like Happy Wheels and fashion some rockets. If any kind of man or beast appears in your room in the middle of the night, then it's best to stab it, and 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 stab it. If you have no other weapons, put that Bible I told you to keep next to your bed to good use. Creepypastas that become famous cannot be forced. They just happen. If you're deliberately putting yourself in danger against powerful, extremely bloodthirsty beings so that you can write a non-profit story to put up on a wiki web page, it is time to accept that you're a complete fucking asshat. Follow these rules, and little or massive harm may befall you. Either way, it's important to make sure that your tale is told, copied, and pasted repeatedly. Forever yours, Management.
And I hope you enjoyed tonight's video, folks, as this is one of my personal favorites, and the reason why we have switched from gaming content to scary stories is because my TV's dead, so it's not really like I can play on the Xbox, and the Xbox is dead, so it's not really like I can play on it. And the PlayStation, I ain't really got anything I can play on it on, and my Quest 2 doesn't like to record videos anymore. So, I'm going to switch to mobile games and scary stories. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.